Yo, what's up guys? This is TCG and I'm here with the first video of its kind on my channel. We have a PSA returns video. Now this is actually my first submission. It's not too many cards, it's only 5 cards, and I sent them all in express, so we got them back really quickly actually. I believe it took about 2 weeks actually if you pay for the express service. It's 75 bucks per card, but it does have a higher declared value per card. You can declare a card up to about $2,500 in value. So if you're sending in higher end stuff, I would definitely say it's worth it, because on the bulk submissions, the declared value limit is around $200. And all of these cards are actually pretty high end cards, 2 of which we pulled really recently on this channel. I'll roll the clip of when we pulled them when I show you the card, but yeah, it's really cool that we have it back graded already. I couldn't help myself. I already took a look at the grades that we got on PSA site, because when they do grade them, they show you the grade immediately after, like before they ship it out, they show you what grades you got already. So I took a look and I'm very happy with the grades we got. So 5 cards, let's get right into it. 2 of these cards are Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I'm gonna kind of hide the grade to begin with so we can kind of look at the card and see what it, if it deserves its grade or not. So we have a freshly graded, so these serial numbers are in the 500, where's that? That 50 millions. So definitely a very fresh grade, very clean slab. And we have a Shonen Jump Volscath from Shonen Jump Champion Series prize card. There's actually not too many copies of this card in general, and this is the only copy of this card that exists in the world. So I got this graded from my buddy SQ K-pop. He's been in a couple of my videos, if you guys remember that. He's helped me with a few openings. He has a really big K-pop channel, about twice. Go check him out. Definitely doesn't need any more publicity from me, a smaller Pokemon channel, but this is his card. Me and him, we used to go way back, and we played at a bunch of locals and regionals for Yu-Gi-Oh! So this was actually a card he picked up as just like a trade, like any everyday trade. It was like $100 value or something ridiculous. So he had this, he kept it in really good condition all these years, and we decided to send it in for grading. And yeah, honestly, for such an old card, it's like in pretty good condition. When I sent it off, I guessed that it would get around the 8 because it did have a little bit of wear around the edges. You just look at that, it's not really, you can't really see on the camera, but just because of how old of a card it is, it does have a little bit of wear on the edges. It's a little bit off center on the back from top to bottom. You can see the top border is a little thicker. And then on the front, honestly, surface looked pretty flawless when I was looking at it. And again, it's a little off center from top to bottom. But yep, it did end up getting that PSA 8, near mint to mint. And I'll show the population report on the bottom of the screen as well. But this is actually the only PSA 8 that exists. There's actually a few PSA 10s and a few PSA 9s, but only one PSA 8. So that's kind of cool. One of a kind, and definitely worth like at least a couple $1,000s, depending, like especially with like all the recent craze in the collectibles markets. So very cool card. I'm gonna get that back to him as soon as possible. Next one is it's another one of his cards, also a really cool submission. This is a super rare dual terminal blue eyes. You can see that parallel pattern there. It's got the tablet art, one of my favorite ones personally. And it is from Dual Terminal Preview actually. So this is actually like a pilot they did for the Dual Terminal video game. If you aren't familiar with what that is, basically it's a Yu-Gi-Oh game, kind of like Duel Links. There's like 3 monster slots, 3 spell and trap slots, and you put $1 in and you get 1 promo card out at the end of it. So in the first set you could get Blue Eyes. There's a lot of other cool, just classic cards in that set. This one, actually, he traded for, so Sam told me he traded for this at a $15 value because he thought it was a regular dual terminal Blue Eyes, but it turned out to be dual terminal preview, and he was at first like upset because he was trying to get 3 dual terminal Blue Eyes, but this one ended up being DTP. He's like, what the heck? It's like, it's not matching with my other Blue Eyes. But it turns out this one is a lot more rare, a lot more valuable. And looking at this card, honestly, it's been a long time since he got it, and he kept it in really good shape. The corners are pretty sharp as far as Yu-Gi-Oh cards go, and yeah, I mean, it just looks like a really good card. Corners are a little bit worn just from time. You can see like a little bit of like a little just wear right there. Aside from that, it's just overall really pristine, and this one got an 8 as well. When I looked at this card under the light, I also thought it would get an 8 just because the general wear around the edges again, kind of like the Decibel, just the time in a binder really took its toll a little bit. So still got a near mint to mint 8, which is very good in my opinion. And I would say this card is also, like, you can't find any of this on eBay, so it's a really rare card. Also one of a kind, I think, if I remember correctly. There are a few 10s and 9s, but this is the only 8 once again, so one of one. Very cool. And yeah, I'll get this back to him as well. And I believe this would be worth, I don't know, like at least $1,000 too. It's a Blue Eyes, so rare, and yeah, I can only imagine. So now we get into our cards, or my cards, that we pulled on this channel. The first one will look very familiar to you guys, and it is that Charizard V Shiny that we got from the Champions Pack pin collection. I'll put a link to that video up on the corner over there, but yeah, it was so surprising. I wasn't gonna open up that pin collection at first. You can actually see the box up in the corner over there. That's the one we got it from. But yeah, super glad we opened that up. We got this one. Overall, that box was so loaded. Like, yeah, we got so many holos just from a ratio perspective in that box, and we got this guy as well. So when I got the card, the first thing I noticed was that it's actually pretty off center on the front. You can see it's shifted to the left quite a bit. Like the right border is very much thicker than the left border. On the back, it's actually pretty flawless on the back. Maybe shifted right just a tiny bit, right and down. No, actually just right. The top and bottom look pretty pristine. So yeah, the left border is a little bit thicker than the right border. So I think other than that, the surfaces, edges, corners all look really good. Just the centering wasn't that great on this card. So revealing the grade, I'm actually super stoked about this one. It actually got the 10. So it seems like the centering actually didn't hold that much value or too much like weight on the particular grader we had. So even though it's quite a bit off center, we were able to pull the 10 on this card. And now this card, I've checked eBay, a PSA 10 goes for around $1,400 on eBay completed. But I don't know, I pulled this card, I might just keep it in the collection. Super valuable. I mean, that's just awesome to have this in a PSA 10. Yeah, I'm super stoked about this one. So moving on, you can probably guess what the next one is. Also pulled this one on the channel. We have the Charizard V Max Rainbow Rare. We got this one from just loose packs that I pre-ordered off of Collector's Cash. Before the pack actually dropped, they had a pretty good deal on the loose packs, 36 packs for, it was I think $160 to $80 around there. In any case, very reasonable compared to what you find on the market these days. And we pulled this out of, I believe, the second batch of 36, or the first, no, we got this in the first batch of 36. But yeah, we got the Charizard VMAX, and when I was looking at this card, honestly to me, like, I didn't see anything wrong with it. Like, centering looked pristine. If anything, the corners might be a little bit just like miscut just from the factories, which caused a bit of dinging on it. You see it's like a little bit of whitening, and that's just because it's like imperfectly cut. So that was really the only issue I saw with this card. And the front to me looked flawless. So revealing the grade on this one. This one was a little bit of a disappointment. It got the mint 9. Like, I'm still very happy that I got the mint 9, but I honestly thought, like, since the centering on this one was so good, like, if you look at the two borders, the left and right borders, you know, the same top and bottom. You can't really see the top border, but, you know, just the centering was so pristine. I think the edges was what ended up, you know, taking off a point here on this one, because just, yeah, I think the whatever sheet that this one came from, the whatever thing that cut this card was not as precise as it could have been, so there's a bit of full peeling on the front. That's really my guess, my best guess. Otherwise, this one looked really good to me. But we'll take a 9. And we have one more card. This one is another Charizard, but this one is just the regular Charizard VMAX from Darkness Ablaze. We actually pulled 4 of these. I pulled 2 cases of Darkness Ablaze when it came out because I'm really excited about the playability of a lot of the cards in the set, so I wanted to get multiple copies of Crobat, Eternatus VMAX, Stantoscorch VMAX. Of course, there was the Charizard VMAX as well. So we're lucky enough to pull 4 of this guy out of 12 boxes, and this was one of the later ones. I actually sent off 2 of them in a value, what is it, like the value submission, so it's gonna be a few months I think before that one comes back. But this one I decided looked really good. Centering, surface, everything looked really good, so I decided to send this one in express with the other Charizards because, you know, it's a Charizard submission, so I wanted to put one more in there. And I figured if it did get the gem, it would be worth the $75 because the PSA 10 of this card is worth around $600, up from like the $100 for the raw. So I figured it could be worth, especially since I thought this was a very strong pen. When looking at it, like, just absolutely flawless card. Like, pretty much as perfect as you could cut it. Like, it didn't have the weird cutting that the other VMAX Rainbow one had. Like, just perfectly rounded corners and no blemishes on the surface or anything. I sent this one in and it did get the 10, so very happy about this. So out of the 3 Charizards we sent in, we got 2 out of 3 10s. Really can't complain about that. Very cool cards to add to my collection right now. I might put up this one for sale because I have a couple more of these coming in. So if anyone's interested, hit me up on Instagram or on the messages in here. This one will be for sale. But the other 2, I mean, these are huge Charizards and we pulled them ourselves, so these might have to stay in the collection for a while. But yeah, first PSA submission, honestly, couldn't have gone better in my opinion. Got the 2 8s on 2 very classic Yu-Gi-Oh cards that kind of withstood the test of time. Like, this is from 2008, 2005. These are probably considered vintage at this point. Like, but 2 very cool submissions for Sam. Congratulations on the 8s. Very solid scores on those. And then on the Charizards, we got 2 10s and a 9, so really can't complain about that. Awesome cards. Okay, so my face cam died, but anyways, my face cams might have died there, but in any case, hope you guys enjoyed this video. There will be more PSA submissions coming soon. I have a bunch of value submissions going in so that we'll get submissions back every month after a couple months or so. The first hump is the first submission, which did happen back at the beginning of August. So hopefully that one will come back soon, and yeah, really fun experience. If anyone's actually interested in submitting PSA cards and would like some tips or would like me to submit for them, feel free to message me. I'll offer a service to where you can send your cards to me and then I'll look at them and tell you what I think they will get, and then we can submit to PSA. I do have the collector's membership, so I will get the value pricing because they did take out the economy pricing recently. So if anyone's interested in doing that, please let me know. And yeah, we can set something up. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.